Hi everyone. How are you? Sorry, it took me a second longer to actually click go live. It disconnected from my account and I had to reconnect. But hi everybody. How are you? Super excited for tonight. So we're going to give it a couple minutes. We'll let some people join. Do us a favor when you're seeing this, just share the video, whether you're watching it now, which is like 7:05 Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday, the 26th, or if you're doing the replay, still share it. We appreciate that. Let me see.
Hi, Shannon. Hi, Catherine. How are you guys? How are you ladies?
Yeah.
I always do that. I was catching myself with that, like during like Christmas and stuff. Like there would be like, like my aunt or like, great grandma over there. And I'm just like, oh, thank you guys. And I'm like, ladies. I'm like, why do I always do that? It's such a habit, like conform.
You know what? I think it's an East Coast thing because I say guys all the time, but when I moved to Texas, that was like not a thing. And people are always like, why are you calling everyone guys? And I'm like, what do you call everyone? Like, and they're like, y'all. And I'm like, oh yeah, I don't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Catherine's like, I say it too. Yeah.
Yes. Force a habit.
Yep.
How was everybody's holidays and Christmas time, all that good stuff? I was super busy and now I'm burned out. And just telling Ashley before we hopped on here, I'm getting sick so I can feel it in my throat. And I'm like, great. Wonderful. And it right into the New Year's too. Perfect.
You know what? At least it waited until like it gave you like Christmas and it was like, I'll let you get through Christmas and then I'm going to hit you.
Yeah.
I was freaking out
because bad, though.
Yeah, because we were like in our household, we were passing it back and forth for about a good 2 months. And then it was like 4 or 5 days before Christmas. And my youngest started with all the symptoms all over again. And I was just holding my breath. I was like, please no, please no, please no.
Don't want it, please.
Oh, so how is everyone? Let us know in the comments how your holiday was, where you're watching from, or anything you want to share. Let's see. Isabelle, what's your website again?
It's well, there's the snip feed link that I have, but then it's just www.eastcoastshaman.com is the actual website without all the additional links and all that.
Okay, got it. Sorry, I meant to do this before. I am all out of whack, like all out of whack.
It takes me like I consider myself like very introverted half the time. So it's like, Christmas time, I'm a lot more social and now I like drain those social batteries and like getting back to my sense of normalcy takes me like at least a week. I'm like so drained.
Yep, so, I know us too. Like, I'm like, okay, now that we're back on this side of the country, we've got all this family. So it's like 3 days of travel. We spent like, I don't know, a total of 10 hours in the car over the course of 3 days. And it was just like so tired. And then we got New Year's and then it's my son's birthday. And I'm like, I just want to take a nap.
Same. My daughter's birthday is like right in the beginning of January, but so is my father-in-law and my mom. And then like there's just a lot of birthdays, like on my in-law side and on my side. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, so I'm planning, it's a big birthday for my daughter. She's going to be 5. So we're getting all that planned. So she wants Frozen themed. So I get to pick out all the Frozen princess stuff and
not go wrong with Frozen.
Yes. I'm excited.
Oh, hi, Sky. Oh, Catherine says, great holiday being off, teacher life. Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah, love that.
Yep. Kira, very drained. So we're all drained. We're all a little tired.
Yes. Hi, Megan. I hear my daughter. Yeah. She's like, I want mommy. So she makes an appearance. But oh my. Hi, Angel.
I love it. All right. So as you guys hop on, like we said, do us a favor, share the video, let everyone know that we're here. We are going to have a very chill night. We are going to hang out. We're going to be answering your questions. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and like hand the mic over to you. And for anyone who maybe doesn't know Isabelle yet, if you guys have never met Isabelle yet, let us know in the comments, or if you have, let us know in the comments. But Isabelle, if you want to let people know who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Yes, absolutely. I'll do this in a second. tablet. It's having problems. But yeah, so my name is Isabelle. I go by the East Coast Shaman, and I do like kind of a mix of things. I do psychic and mediumship readings. I do tarot readings. I have a podcast called the Spiritual Mamas Podcast, which you can watch like on YouTube if you want like the video version, or you can go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts. There's like a bunch of platforms that I stream on for my podcast and everything. But right now I'm trying to add more like stuff into my podcast. Typically I do like on a weekly, monthly basis, I do like energy forecasts, which if you follow me on my my Facebook page, I do the energy forecast like each week, except this week because Christmas and everything went all crazy. But I do that. I'm also getting in the mist with herbalism and all that. I've been studying that for a while, and I have something to show you guys because I know I talk about it a lot and then have nothing to show for it. But we have herbs.
Yay!
So tea making soon. I know, I'm so excited. I got a bunch for Christmas, so that was helpful because I remember I was like, I couldn't find chamomile. It was like all sold out everywhere. And then that's one of the things that I got was chamomile. And I was like, oh, well, that's probably why it was sold out.
I love that.
But yeah, so I have that. And right now I've been working kind of a little bit more on like digital products and things like that too. So I made some digital planners. I have some for like manifesting and self-care. And I also had like a 2024 planner that I made too, which you can find on the link that I think Ashley put in the comments. Can you turn that down?
Yeah, it's in the description of the video. And then I just keep randomly posting it in the comments if anyone can't see it.
Yes. So I'll be adding more to that then. You want to say hi quick? Get it out of your system. Are you sure?
Hi.
She just lost a tooth yesterday too. So
already?
She lost one at the bottom. Yep. One at the bottom, which was a couple months ago, I think, or not a couple months. It was like last month sometime. And then yesterday we were at my in-laws and one like flew out. And I was like, well,
wow. She's getting started so early. My daughter didn't start losing teeth until, gosh, I don't know, probably like 7. She's a late bloomer with her teeth though. Yeah. She takes after me.
I was surprised that it was so early too. I was like, when did I start losing teeth? I don't remember, but I was like, 4 seemed really early for me. But I had to Google it, and apparently that's like the normal time for that they note. So
yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I know Peggy's like, how cute is she? Isn't she? She's so cute.
Can you go back downstairs, please? No. Can you sit back there? No. Okay.
Well, she's honest, right?
Yes. No. But yeah, so today we're just going to be doing some spiritual Q&A and chit chat. I was planning on putting this on my podcast episode. Well, one of my podcast episodes to kind of fill in for this week since I missed the weekly guidance. So
love that.
Let's have some fun. We can ask some questions and give some answers and just chit chat about, spiritual topics or whatever you guys want to talk about. I think it'll be fun and really relaxed and laid back today.
Yep. I love it. So if you guys are in your jammies or your comfy clothes, grab a tea or a coffee or water or whatever it is that you like to drink. And if you have questions pertaining to anything regarding the spiritual world, how things work or your own experiences or Isabella's or mine or, anything that you want to know, put it in the comments. And we're just going to, like she said, we're going to hang out. We'll answer as many as we can. And that's it. Yeah. But yeah, as we're waiting for your comments to show up, for your questions to show up, just again, in the description of the video. So if you're on Facebook, it's going to be up there. And if you're on YouTube, it's down there. But I have all of Isabelle's information listed. So her Facebook page, her, her links, her website, all of that is listed. Hi, Jessie. Welcome. Okay. I love it. Okay. So do you want to answer the first one or do you want me to answer the first one?
Yes. Just a second here. Let me scroll up. I'm starting to get all the comments. So it's like starting to go down. I want to scroll up to the top a little bit. So Brandy Jones, I see 11 a lot. Why? So for me, there's always a meaning behind seeing a specific number, especially if it's reoccurring. For me, I see the number 38 a lot. And I actually you have to ask yourself when you're seeing this number, like, you know, what are you thinking about when you're seeing this? Like the thought, like right before you see that number.
Mhm.
Because a lot of the times, like there's a correlation with what you're thinking right before you see it. But you can also look online as well, if you want to get like a general idea of like what that number could mean for you. Now, the only reason why I don't really say like look it up online all the time is because it's always like it can mean something different for everybody. But there was a website that I really do like to go to. It's called I think it's sacredscribes.com, and there's a whole wide variety of a bunch of different numbers starting from 0 to the thousands. So they talk about like all of these numbers and stuff in the specific meanings and stuff, especially if it's like multiple numbers, they break it up. So say that you're seeing like 1, 2, 3, 4 all the time, and it'll break up those numbers to say like what all these numbers mean. So I would definitely like recommend like looking into that. But yeah, there's definitely a reason why you're seeing that number.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know for me, I saw Chelsea said she sees her birthday a lot. So like you said, like numbers can mean something different for everyone. So for me, just by paying attention to, you know, what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking about or what thoughts emerge when those numbers are showing up, you start to kind of recognize a pattern. So I know for me that when I see my birthday, it's a sign for me that I'm in alignment, like I'm in the path that I'm meant to be on. But if someone else was to see 1110, it would mean something completely different for them.
Mhm. Right.
Yeah,
I see my
so
birthday a lot too, Chelsea.
yeah. Let me see. Okay, Ron said, "Where are our loved ones' spirits? In between heaven or in and out of heaven?" So I like that question because that's actually like I get similar questions a lot from people. So the moment that we leave our physical body and we transition into spirit, our soul instantly goes where it's meant to go. And some people call that heaven, some people call it higher consciousness, divine, source, universe, whatever title it is that you give it. But it's all the same thing. So when we pass, our body or our soul immediately leaves the body and instantaneously will transfer over into into heaven or wherever it is that again you refer to it as. Now the thing about heaven is it's not a physical location. You know, it's not like this magical place directly above the clouds. It's just a separate vibration. So Earth, we sort of vibrate at a lower frequency, and our physical bodies are receptive to typically less than 1% of the energy field around us. So think about that. There's 99% of energy around us that we are completely oblivious to most of the time. So heaven isn't really a location, it's a separate vibration. It's a higher vibration that the human body is not super receptive of. So our loved ones, they're never stuck in between. They're never, you know, oh, I'm stuck earthbound or I'm in this in between world. They're always in heaven, but they can simultaneously be with all of us at the same exact time because energy is not confined to a physical location. So it's not like they can only be in heaven or only be visiting a loved one. They can be in heaven visiting every single loved one that they've ever known, all at the same exact time. I hope that answers your question.
And yes, Brandy, I'll after the live, I'll come and respond to your comment with the website that I was talking about for you. Okay. Catherine says, how does one raise their vibration? So I think there's so many ways. There's so many ways that you can raise your vibration. But the way that I typically do, like a lot of people do it with like, you know, visualization or meditation. But for me, I always try to do like the visualization half of it because to me it's a little bit more active than meditation that's to like kind of like relax you and like kind of bring your energy like inwards. But there's also like many other ways that you can do it like externally, like eating more high vibrational foods or going outside and like, you know, being around nature and stuff can also raise your vibration as well. It's super simple. Like I think a lot of people think way too hard about like how to raise their vibration
Mhm.
when it can be like as easy as like, going outside or even exercising too can raise your vibration
Mhm.
too. So whatever you're feeling like, I guess, drawn to do to kind of like, raise that vibration, I would like highly recommend. But there's a book also by Kyle Gray, and I think it's actually named that. It's like raising
I
your
love Kyle
vibration.
Gray.
Yes, and I have that on an audiobook, and I listen to that, well, I have so many audiobooks, and I kinda like I don't listen to the whole book. I, like, listen to part of it, and then I jump around to another book, and then listen to that, and then, like, go back to the book I was just, like, listening to. But,
Yep.
he has a book about raising your vibration and stuff, and he did talk about that, like, eating a high vibrational diet and exercise and going
Mhm.
outside and, like, meditation and visualization and all of that. But,
Yeah.
yeah, those are ways that I like to, raise my vibration, so I hope that was helpful.
Yeah. 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 I love Kyle Gray. I haven't read that book, but I do love Kyle Gray. And I think also, like, if you're really new to trying to figure that out, like, focus on joy. What brings you joy? Like, when you're joyful, you're in like a euphoric state, and that alone, like, that'll vibration is up.
Joy and gratitude as well.
Mhm.
Having a gratitude journal, that's, like, one thing. See, like, that, like, completely slipped my mind, but that's another way that I do to, raise my
Yeah.
vibration too, is, like, starting, like, a gratitude journal, and even if it's, like, super small, like, I got a cup of coffee this morning and, I had some time to enjoy it, like, write that down, of, like, the things that you're grateful for that happened for you.
Mhm. Absolutely.
My visitor's back.
Well, your visitor.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Okay, Sarah said, "Can I ask spirit for proof when I wake from can I ask spirit sorry, I can't read. Can I ask spirit for proof when I wake when astral travel while sleeping? I ask before bed and I want to, I just don't ever remember if I did." Yes. So when you're astral traveling or lucid dreaming or, maybe you're just going to sleep like and you have no intentions of doing anything, when we sleep, we are sort of in that in between realm because think of sleep as like the deepest meditation that you can go into, right? So our ego completely steps to the side. So it's a lot easier for our soul to communicate with other, souls or whatever's on the other side. So yeah, you can set the intention before you go to bed, like I want to astral travel. Eat lighter foods. Don't eat real dense foods before you go to sleep. That'll kind of ground you a little too much. So eat lighter foods, not a whole lot on the stomach. And then set the intention. You could do a meditation. You can also listen to specific binaural beats while you sleep, which you can find on YouTube to help with that. And yeah, you can absolutely ask spirit, like, hey, when I wake up, if I astral traveled, the 24 hours after I first wake up, can you show me XYZ? And you choose something that you're not typically going to see in your everyday life, but it's something that is realistic to see. So, you don't want to say, show me a three-legged unicorn because you're probably not going to see that. I mean, you could try, but, you could ask spirit something you don't usually see. So you could say, show me a lime green Volkswagen, it's likely, but it's not something that you're probably seeing every day. And so spirit will definitely work with you when you, assign signs like that or ask for things as long as it is intended to serve your highest good for sure.
And I had that too happen, like, where I asked, and I was actually scared to ask spirit for like a specific sign, like afraid that like, I wouldn't see it and it's like, on my
Mhm.
head and all that. But with my guides and stuff, I always practice it with my guides and stuff. And for me, they showed me blue jays. So I remember one time I was out and I was walking around in this park and I was like, like if you're with me, like show me a blue jay. And that's one thing, like they don't always give it to you like the day of or the moment you ask, of course, like
Mhm.
divine timing. It can be like later that week. But I was like looking around, I'm like not seeing a blue jay, and I'm out in the middle of this park. And I was like, all right. So I go on with my day. And it's like when you least expect it is when it comes. So it's like I was going to Target and I walk into the store and there's these blue jay salt and pepper shakers like right in the front of the store. And I was like, no way. I was so excited. But I love asking for signs like that.
I
It's
do
always fun.
too. Yep. I have a habit of like when I'm at a fork in the road, I'll ask spirit, okay, if I'm supposed to go this way, show me this. If I go this way, show me this. And I'll put like a realistic time frame on it, like within the next 72 hours. And then I'm just like, I'm not looking for it, but I'm looking for it.
Mhm. Same. You have to be present too. Being present is like
Yeah.
really important, or just to practice the art of being present. So it's like, I
Mhm.
feel like it's easy to miss those signs at times.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like, practice being present. And Diane said, I believe my mom visited us on Christmas Eve. The dog was barking at nothing, and I felt goosebumps all over my body, like her spirit passed through me. It was incredible. I would say absolutely that is your mom coming to
Mhm.
visit you on Christmas Eve. They have like a spirit has such an awesome timing of like knowing when it's the right time to visit you and like make their presence known. But I absolutely love that. That's actually a way when I connect to spirit when I'm doing my mediumship readings, that's the way that I know that spirit's connected to me, is because I get goosebumps like almost as soon as that
Mhm.
connection, like I can feel it, like, come to me. But I love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, our loved ones are all like, they do not miss out on holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, job promotions, like, they're there for it all.
Hmm.
Um, is it I like this question. Kira said, "Is it possible for 2 living souls to meet in your dreams?" Yes, I do it frequently. And the funny thing is not often does the other person remember. And but I do have a couple friends who are spiritually, open, and they practice meditation, and they're intuitive, which we're all intuitive. They've just kind of honed in on it. So they're a little bit more aware than some other people. And I've actually like texted someone and been like, "Hey, was I in your dream last night?" And like I've had a couple people respond like, "Yeah. How did you know that?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, we were in the astral realm." Like I remember too. And then we'll compare notes and they're so similar. It's wild. So yes, it is definitely possible. But the 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 likelihood of both people actively remembering is slim, but if you're both open to it, absolutely.
I love that.
Mhm.
Angel says, what gift is it when you see moving auras and spirit in photos and videos? So that would be considered clairvoyance, like when you actually like see something. A lot of people don't typically like see it with their naked eye, but it's like, like with their third eye, like inside, like they can see like, an aura, like the colors or like a spirit and stuff. One thing that I tell people, and that's something that I learned in one of my mentorships, is like your peripherals or like your spirit vision. So if you see like a spirit, like, a shadow moving across like in your peripherals, that's your spirit vision. But yeah, clairvoyance, like there's these main yeah there's these main I would say categories. So there's like clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, which stands for, like I said, clairvoyance is clear seeing, clairaudience would be hearing, clairsentience would be feeling, and claircognizance would be the intuitive knowing. And under these categories, there's multiple like different ways to receive this energy. Like for example, like you said, seeing auras and spirit and photos would be clairvoyance. And then there's also like remote viewing. So being in a specific location, but being able to see another location and like details within another location, like that'd be a form of clairvoyance.
Mhm.
But yes, there's so many like different levels and like layers that these abilities can go and you can work with.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, she said naked eye. Yeah, you can with clairvoyance, it's like Isabel said, like it could be in your mind's eye or it could be with your physical eyes, a little bit of both. Same thing with hearing. And I like that you mentioned remote viewing because that is one of my favorite things to do. Like I don't know why I don't offer it as a service because I freaking love it. Like
Yeah.
like I studied it for a long time. And so I just sit and like, I'm just, like, out there, doing my thing, like, wandering around looking at all these other places, and I'm like, "Why don't I do this, like, incorporate this into my services somehow?"
Yeah, it's an excellent way to especially expand that ability of clairvoyance is practicing
Mhm.
remote viewing and stuff and like seeing if you can see like a you can do it with a partner and like ask them like what do they see in that room, and then you're going to like take notes of it and then like compare those notes with them to see if you like how accurate you were. But
Yeah.
that's actually something that I've been practicing, that I've been like with my mediumship and stuff, is like asking spirit to like, okay, like show me around like the house that you lived in and like show me specific
Mhm.
things in there and like try to report that back to the person that I'm reading for.
Yeah.
And it's fun. I think it's so much
Mhm.
fun.
Yep.
Doing
I
that.
I practice it not as often anymore as I used to, but when I first got started, I used to practice it a lot with my best friend. Like, we would just call each other and I would just, I see this, or are you wearing this? And she'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, like I see you like standing in your kitchen. Um, Peggy, why would someone put a spell on me? I have bad luck. Nobody puts a spell on you. So people can send icky energy, right? Like they can send unpleasant energy. They can put ill wishes on you, but you're only receptive to the type of energy that you allow yourself to be open up to. So if you believe that people can put curses on you and that people can affect your luck, then you're giving them that permission to do that. But if you have the understanding of I am in control of my energy, I am in control of my energy field, and you start to understand that you can set boundaries, and it's very simple to do. You just figure out what your boundaries are. You talk to your guides. You can do it in meditation. You can write it down in a journal. You can just speak it out louder in your head. But your guides, their job is to help you. It's to help you hold on to those boundaries. It's to help you, with whatever it is that you have going on in life, or whatever your goals are, whatever it is that you're asking for assistance in. But nobody can send you negative energy unless you're opening the door to be receptive of that. So if you don't, I see you said, I don't believe it. So that's good. So if you don't believe it, trust me, those people have absolutely no power over you. If you do feel like, because sometimes we'll absorb people's energies. And so if we have people constantly wishing us ill, we can absorb that a little bit. But I would say, cleanse your energy, cleanse your home, set those boundaries with your guides. And if you're into anything like cord cutting, with candles and things, that could be a fun exercise, but you don't even have to go that deep into it. It really is just about reclaiming your energy and sort of cleansing it. But nobody can put any harm or bad luck on you.
Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of like scammers and stuff use as well,
Mm-hmm.
like a scare tactic to get you to buy into, whatever
Yep.
they're trying to. I got one. I thought it was funny. It was on my business page on my Instagram, and I had this like, witch doctor from wherever,
Mm-hmm.
and they messaged me and they were just like, hey, like I was really drawn to you and, I wanted to give you a reading and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, have you been having trouble in your relationship? And I was like, no, actually. And they're like, well, you have a curse on you. And like, I'm the
Uh-huh.
only one that can get rid of it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But I was still playing along. And like at the end, they were like, okay, well, in order for us to do this like manifesting of this spell removal, I'm going to need $150. I'm like,
Yeah.
no. Like,
Because then what happens is you'll give them the 150 and then they'll say, well, I could only get so far, but if you want me to do this, then it's another $200. And it's like, no, you are in control of your energy, nobody else. If you need to cleanse it, you are totally capable of cleansing it. If you do want assistance, go with an energy worker that you full on trust. But yeah, your energy is yours. It's no one else's.
yes.
Yeah, she said TikTok for $20 and wanted more money to help me. Exactly. That is a scammer if I've ever seen one.
There's a lot of people that like make fake profiles of like,
Mhm.
us, not just us, but I mean like the
Yeah.
spiritual workers in general, and not just like psychic mediums and like tarot readers and stuff, like even like Reiki workers and,
Mhm.
other people in other like modalities,
Yeah.
that people like make these scam accounts and like try to get you to buy into their stuff.
Yeah.
It's sad that they do that. Like I hate that that happens, and I wish there was a way to like verify our accounts like
Mhm.
without having to hit that criteria. I know Instagram did it where you can actually pay, but it's like I don't want to actually like pay for the
Yeah.
little
Yep.
money. But
I think Facebook does it too, where it's like you pay $15 a month or something and you can get the blue check. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that.
yeah.
Oh, she said Ashley was under your name. Yeah. So see, and that makes me so mad because I get messages from people all the time. They're, they'll text me or they'll email me randomly out of the blue and they'll go, "You scammed me out of money. You're fake." And I'm like, "I've never spoken to you before in my life. What are we talking
Yeah.
about?" Like, and it's sad and it's frustrating because social media, all the platforms, unfortunately, they don't do anything about it. You'll report it and you'll say this person's pretending to be me, and you'll get the message back like, sorry, this doesn't go against our guidelines. I'm like, how doesn't this go
Yeah.
against it?
Lydia. Lydia. We're getting a song. But yes, it is. It's sad and very frustrating. And if so, can you break soul ties? Lydia, please. So with the soul ties and stuff, I feel like that's a good question. But I would say that would be in line of like doing like cord cutting, like Ashley said earlier. But I feel like regardless, like we can still like break these ties with somebody like possibly in this lifetime. But I feel like in the next lifetime and stuff, like you can still, they can play a role in your life, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be, you know, say toxic or something. Like my mom could have been my enemy in a past life, you know? And it's like our roles switch and stuff, but we'll continuously like play this game of life, like, you know, each lifetime with these like certain, you know, specific people. But you can definitely try like cord cutting. There is, I guess this is the same thing under cord cutting, where people have the candles and there's like the string attached. It's like a more like visual form of
Yep.
it.
Yep.
But there was just like a simple visualization that I learned and stuff was like taking your hand, like whenever this was more for like when I was connecting with like just spirit in general, but like cutting that tie and like taking your hand where your solar plexus would be. So it's like right in between your rib cage, and cutting that tie like with your hand. And just visualize that, you know, cord breaking off and like your energy staying with your energy and that excess energy like going back to where it's supposed to go. But again, like I said, there's that like the candle thing where it's like two black candles and you burn it and it eventually like burns the rope that's together for a more like visual way of cord cutting those ties.
Yeah. You can even, you know, write down on a piece of paper, like I cut all energetic ties to so and so, to Bob Smith, you know, and then you could burn it. And just while you're doing whatever you're doing, just continuously set that intention of, as this is happening, this is what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I love this. Sarah said, the past 6 months, I've been going to psychic classes, yay, meditations, etc. I have been loving them. And oh, wait, I have then been staying home and just relaxing, not depression, just loving being home. Or is that because I'm a Cancer? So no, that's actually really common. When you start to go through development, what you'll start to see happen is you're shedding layers of yourself that has more so been like a mask, or layers of yourself that is just more social conditioning, but maybe isn't necessarily who you are at your core. So when you start meditating, when you start connecting to your soul, when you start having that deeper understanding of who you are, it's very normal for your circle to shrink down and for you to just become way more comfortable in your own energy. Because I think for a lot of us, we tend to run from ourselves, and we fill that with distractions, and we don't even do that knowingly. You know, we fill it with overcommitting to, you know, various obligations, and always, you know, being distracted with this person, that person, because we're not comfortable with our own energy. But when you start doing meditations and psychic classes and just, again, getting to know yourself better, you get very comfortable with yourself. So I am extroverted to a certain degree, but do not get me wrong. I love to be alone. I was actually just talking to my sister about this today. Like, I love my alone time. Like, I'm totally content if nobody talks to me for like weeks on end. I'm good.
I'm the same way, and I was actually thinking that because, like, me and my husband were, like, 2 different people, and it's, like, to me, I can totally, like, you know, be alone and, like, you know, cut myself off from, like, everything
Mhm.
and just be, like, 100%, like, fine, but he's like, "I need to go out and, like, hang out with somebody or talk to somebody or do this," and I'm like, "Why?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't get
I
it.
don't understand.
But it's funny, like, you had me thinking there, like, or is it because I'm a Cancer? Because I'm like, I'm a Cancer rising, so it's like they say that, like, the rising signs,
Mhm.
you take on, like, a lot of those traits and stuff. So
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was like, is it because I have Cancer in my,
Mhm.
like, main signs? I was like, I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. My moon is in Cancer. So, you know, your moon is what controls like all your emotion. And I'm like, you know, I'm not a very emotional person, but I guess the Scorpio, like I have a Scorpio sun or Aries rising. So both of those are like, you know, little spicy, but then my Cancer is in moon is, or my moon is in the Cancer. So I'm like, maybe they just like balance each other out.
That's how I'm a Virgo sun. And then I think it's funny because I'm Cancer rising and I'm Scorpio moon. So it's like we have like two of the same placements, but flip flop.
I love that.
But yeah, I love astrology. Astrology is so helpful, like when it comes to like really getting into like the depths of your personality and learning more about yourself. Let's see. Lydia. And Lydia, please.
Cheese. Hot cheese. Oh, hot. Please.
Could we, Lydia? No, honey. Come on, I need you to stay out of the camera, please. Thank you. Oh my. All right. I wasn't doing card readings today.
Yeah. If you guys have, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions and stuff, let me know. I do plan on actually going live on my page probably after the New Year's, and I was going to do some card readings.
So if you guys don't follow her on Facebook, then make sure you go follow her.
Yes. Sarah Williams, can you explain the power of the 369? So that's like a manifestation method. So they say I had a journal that actually did this, and I was like doing that for a while. But it's like, you know, in the morning when you would wake up, you would write like the things that you would like to manifest throughout that day, or even if you want to work on this for a while, like throughout the week or like the month, like you would write it down like 3 times, like in the morning, and then in the afternoon, you could either write down those same meditations, the same manifestations, or it could be a set of like different ones, and you would write that down 6 times, and then in the evening, like do the same thing about 9 times. But it's supposed to like kind of like train your mind to like, you know, work on those manifestations. The important thing that I always tell people when it comes to manifestations is that, you know, a lot of people have it, I guess, skewed thinking it's just a thought, and then it'll just, whatever you want is just going to come and like place itself on your lap. But it's you have to have the action within that. Lydia.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I always say like it's teamwork, right? It's like us and universe. And so universe can only get us so far. We definitely have to be willing to do some of the work ourselves.
Yes.
Dawn, does anyone in the Master Healer group do astrological charts? I don't think so. If you join our Master Healer Facebook group, so if you're not a member of it already, it's just Ashley Smarowsky and her Master Healers. It's a private group, but it's totally free here on Facebook. If you go join that, you can ask in there. I could be wrong. I don't think so, but you never know. We're always growing. We're always evolving. So that could definitely be something that someone has added to their services that I'm just not aware of yet. But yeah, I'd say go to the Facebook group and definitely ask. Let's see. I'm loving these questions. I feel
that was the one thing that I wanted to say because I completely forgot to say it in the beginning. But this is my last month with the Master Healers. In January, I'm kind of doing my own thing. So if you want to, you know, follow my page, go ahead and do that. But it's not like I won't be back, and like we can probably coordinate something.
Yep. Absolutely.
So it's not going to be the last time that you ever see me. But again, like go ahead and check out my Facebook page and follow me on there.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud. I've seen how far you've come, and I'm just like, I feel like a mama bird, like pushing you out of the nest. Like, I'm like, look at her go. I'm so excited.
I'm doing like so many like new things and stuff. And it's just, it's crazy because it's like, I have a lot going on right now, just in my personal life with like, you know, the kids and birthdays and holidays, especially. And then I'm like, okay, it's like in my head, I'm like, how can I make my workload a lot more than it has to be? But I'm going to enjoy it. Cause I don't know. I like to have a lot to do like all the time.
Yeah,
Like I
I
can't
do too.
stand like not doing anything. Like I get like anxiety. So
Yeah.
I'm working on meditations. I'm working on digital products. I'm working on a bunch of like kind of on the side things. And then, you know, still trying to work on my reading. So I'm trying to get this one, it's another mentorship that I wanted to, go into with this what's her name, Amy Balesky, I think. She's really big on TikTok. Well, I shouldn't say really big on TikTok, but that's how I found her.
You have red
um
hair.
yeah,
Okay.
she
Yeah.
has red hair. And I watch her lives like all the time, and I'm just like, huh, but she has this like mentorship that she's doing, and I was like, I want to check that out. So it's not until February though. But I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, we should always be growing and evolving, right? Like I've been in a mentorship and business class for the past 7 or 8 months, and we finish up in February, and part of me is like, "Oh, I'll have some nights back to myself," and the other part of me is like, "I'm so sad. What am I gonna do after this?"
I know. And it's always like, no matter like who you decide to, like who you're drawn to mentor with, you're always going to learn something new that's going to help you expand and grow even further. Like I've
Absolutely.
taken Ashley's mentorships and I've learned so much. And I've taken a couple other people where like, you know, I learn like it's like addition to like what you taught me. And it's like more stuff on top of that. I'm like, how many ways is there to connect with spirit?
Yeah.
Like this is crazy.
And the great thing is like when you're mentoring or you're taking classes or something, you may not resonate with like everything that teacher, you know, is teaching, but you'll definitely pick up on pieces. And that's how we build our own journeys, right? We're like, okay, I resonate with this that she said, and I resonate with this of what he said. And now like, these are part of me, but everything else I didn't resonate with. So like, you know, that's fine. Cause every journey is unique.
It is. It is. And Andrea said, I joined this a little late. Can you give us some tips on how to meditate? So here's the thing. When it comes to meditation, like I want to just ask you guys a quick question. Do you think that with meditations that you have to have a clear mind, like 100% clear, no thoughts? So just like type yes or no in the comments. But that's like a common misconception that people think is that you have to have like 100% clear mind to be able to meditate. But it's more about like, you know, acknowledging the thoughts that come through and then refocusing yourself back to either being present or I like to do guided meditations and stuff, which you can find like there's so many on YouTube that you can find. Hi. There's so many that you can find on YouTube, like these guided meditations or visualizations and things like that. And there's another way to do is I think Ashley, you called these like active meditations where it's like you're doing something like washing dishes or cleaning a house, and it's like, you know, you're just being present in the moment. So I feel like that's more for the people that are like, you know, like super busy and don't have that time to sit down and take like, you know, 15, 20 minutes to just sit there and do a meditation. But it doesn't even have to be that long. Like you can do this for like maybe like 5-10 minutes and stuff, whatever you have time for. But it is a good practice to get in the habit of. It's just the art of being present and like acknowledging your thoughts and letting them go and coming back to the present moment.
Yeah.
I
think one of my favorite things, either when I'm just super busy or for people who are newer, is to just start teaching yourself how to scan your body. Like sit comfortably. You don't want to get too comfortable to where you fall asleep, but get comfortable and just close your eyes and try not to have too many distractions around you. You can put headphones on, or you can listen to like just meditative music with no lyrics, and just kind of sit and start at your feet and just scan your body slowly all the way up. Like you'll start at your toes and then your feet and then your ankles and then your shins and then your knees. And you're just like moving your way up. And what that's doing is it's forcing you to be present in the moment. And you're becoming more in tune with how your body feels. Is there tension anywhere? You know, are you sitting like this? And then when you get here, you realize. And so then you lower them. Is your jaw clenched? Like just scanning your body, it'll start teaching you how to be present. And don't be surprised if while you're scanning, your mind wanders to something else. And then you go, oh crap, I got to do it again. And then you bring yourself back and just start again. And it's okay.
I found that a lot where I get very, Lydia, I think that she's like on this side, but she's on this side, and it's like screwing me up looking in the camera. I'm like seeing her. But but that just made me lose my train of thought. Yeah, I do that a lot where it's like when I first started meditation, I had a hard time like really just staying like in the present moment and stuff. Like my thoughts would go all over the place, but like within practice and stuff like that, you get the hang of it. It gets easier over time.
It definitely does. Yep. Ron said, how can we ask our loved ones to visit us in our dreams? Just like that. Just like that. You just ask. You could say, you know, let's say it was your mom or your wife or your grandma or your uncle or whoever it is. Or maybe you just are open to any loved one. Just before you go to bed at night, talk to them out loud or in your head. You can write it down, whatever you want to do, but you just ask them. You let them know, I'd love to see you in my dreams. I'd love for you to visit me tonight. And it's not going to happen every single time, but it is going to happen when the time is right. And just trusting that our loved ones know when the right time is for them to show up is key. Really putting that trust into them. And all we're doing is we're making space, and they show up when they're ready and when they know that we are ready. But yeah. Yep. Hi, Lydia.
Can you sit down there, please?
I feel you. Have you seen me go live with Jude running around? I'm like,
yes. Oh, hashtag mom life.
I know. Yeah, Linda said, I always imagine myself sitting by a river. If a thought pops up, I set it on a leaf and it floats away. And I come back to thinking about my breath. Linda, I love that. I love that you put it on a leaf and like let it float away, because I'm all about visuals. I'm a very visual person. I know not everyone is, but I love that. I might have to give that a try too. I've never put my thoughts on a leaf and let them float down the river.
Yeah, that's nice. I like that thought.
Yeah, I took some time the other day. You know, things have been so busy with the holidays. I really haven't had time to sit and meditate for me. I'll sit and meditate for my clients before I go into a reading, but I haven't had time to just sit and meditate for myself. So the other day, every time I eat, like I have, you know, orange peels or banana peels or like eggshells or something, I just shove them on a bag. And then when the baggie is filled, I'll go outside and I'll just walk around my property and like give little offerings to my tree and like touch my tree, and I'll, you know, talk to each tree and just thank them for being there. And it's another great form of like active meditation. You're bringing yourself into that present moment.
And going off of like what Ron said about like asking your loved ones to visit us in dreams and things, like I actually did that. It was last year when it was about this time of year. It was Christmas time, and I asked my grandfather to come visit, not just me, but also my mom and my grandma and stuff. And he came through in the dreams. I just said, like, you know, make it so like, you know, you can't deny it, like however it may be. And my grandfather, he didn't actually come through for my grandma like on Christmas or like this time, but it was actually my daughter's birthday. She said she had a dream and he came through the door with a present.
Oh,
yeah.
I love that.
That's coming up.
Yep, I love that. Yep, my loved ones are always there. And, you know, I know a lot of people are always like, I want them to come and dream. And I totally get that, because I'm asking my loved ones all the time to come in dreams, and it doesn't happen super often. But remember, you know, transfer of thought is a real thing. So if you're just going about your day and all of a sudden you're thinking of your grandpa or you're thinking about your mom or whoever it is, and there was nothing that kind of triggered those thoughts, they just happened to be there, know that that's a way that our loved ones communicate with us. They, you know, they definitely put memories or thoughts into our head.
Yes.
Love it.
No, please. Oh my gosh. But yeah, any more questions, guys, go ahead and put them in the comments.
Yeah, I love lives like this, because I think these are topics that should be talked about. These are, you know, and not to say that we're right about everything or this person's right about everything. Again, it's all about our own unique journey. So I love these conversations, because we kind of get to see other people's perspectives or other people's opinions or their, it's a fun conversation for me. I could do spiritual Q&A lives all day, every day and be totally fine.
And I think it's a good place because there's like a lot of questions I feel like that so many people have about, this, but they don't, there's really not that many people to ask. Or if you do like ask a big community, like you get, there's actually this community that I follow on Facebook where somebody will ask a question and you get so many different like opinions and answers and stuff. Not all I'm not saying that anybody's like, right or wrong though, but some of them are just like, I would say completely left field.
Yeah.
But I think it's really helpful, especially with people who've been doing this for a while to like, be able to give you the input and stuff as well, like in a safe environment too.
Agreed. Yep. I think that's part of why
she is a ball of energy.
I think that's part of why I have like a love-hate relationship with TikTok, because it is a very useful app. You can definitely find a lot of people who really know what they're talking about, but it's also an app that makes it so easy for people to just get on there and like spew nonsense. I'm like, I don't have the energy to sit here and argue with all of you. So I'm just gonna walk away.
Yeah. I love it when it's like there's something that I've been doing that's like been working for me for like a really long time, and I might share that tip or something like either on TikTok or like Instagram or something like that. And then there's someone else that's like the expert of everything. And they're just like, well, that's wrong. Like you shouldn't do it that way. And I'm like,
right,
get out of here.
Yeah. Yep. There's no one right way to do it.
Yeah. There was another person that I remember I was like watching their one of their videos, and it was this, I think it was some type of like spell, like a witchcraft thing. And they had the incense and they said about like going, I think they were doing counterclockwise and stuff. And there was someone in there that commented and they were just like, you're not supposed to do it that way. It's supposed to be clockwise. And I'm just like, whatever's working for that person, like don't be a Debbie Downer. Like,
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot that I do that when, other people who do energy work, when they figure out how I do it, they're like, oh, the one thing I hear a lot is you make it so simple, because I don't put a whole lot of thought into it. Like I've had people tell me like, you're a lot witchier than you come off. And I'm like, because I don't do all the rituals and stuff. It is more of just like visualizations in my mind, focusing, like picturing the, the auras and the energy field. Like a lot of it is just in here. So, the people in the outside world, they see a lot of this, but there's a lot going on up here while I'm just sitting with my eyes shut. I'm like, oh no, I'm busy.
Same. Ron says, the spirit know when we're sad or thinking of them. Yeah. So spirit, that's a way that they communicate, is like transfer of thought. So if you even send that thought of like, like to communicate with so-and-so or give them, just tell them that you love them, whatever it may be, like they can hear that. Because it's like, you don't have to say it out loud. You definitely can. You can say it out loud if you want, whatever you're feeling drawn to. But I've already done that where it's like, I said things like within my own thoughts, my mind, and then there's times where I said it out loud. And like either way is a good way to communicate with them. But I think like when you're sad and stuff, like being sad and stuff is like a more like, I would say like lower vibrational like state of mind. So like there's times where like spirit will wait out until there's a time where you're just like a little bit more in a better vibration to, give you a sign to let them know that they're there, or to like, give you that little bit of assistance and stuff. Like their timing, like I said earlier, like their timing is fantastic at times. Like they know the right time to show up and to give you something or like a sign or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. I like this one. Amy said, when you get to a certain point in your awareness, does it seem like the connection is sort of lost because it's just as natural and normal as breathing? So for me, it doesn't necessarily feel lost. I do remember about 2 years into my business, because I didn't actually, spirituality has been a part of me for like, I don't know, my whole life, but like actively, probably since I was about 20, I've really like that around 20 is when I really started honing in and trying to understand everything. But I will say, when I started my business, I was doing more spiritual work than I'd ever done before. So I was seeing like the biggest jumps and leaps with my development, because I was actively sitting down and doing this for like hours every single day. And I will, like about 2 years into starting my business, I did think that I had lost my connection, because I was like, things don't feel as intense anymore. But it's not that it was lost. It's just that I became used to it. So in the beginning, when spirit was around, I would feel like I was having full-on panic attacks. Like my heart would race. I couldn't breathe. I felt like there was an elephant on my chest. I'd get all this pressure in my head. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so intense. Now it's like just the slightest little, it's almost like a thought, like something piques my interest and I don't even know what it is yet, but I feel something go, "Doop," and I'm like, oh, what, like who's around? What is it? And I think it's just like, if you think about any muscle, right? If you start going to the gym and you're trying to get a 6 pack of abs, you're going to do two sit-ups or something. You're going to be sore for weeks. And then a couple months into it, you can do like, 50 sit-ups and you get up and walk like it was nothing. You're totally fine. So it's not that you necessarily lose it. It's just that it'll continue to change over time and it does become less intense. Your body just becomes used to that feeling, used to that higher vibration.
And there's like a lot of times, like adding on to that, it's like in the beginning when we're like, getting used to these abilities, like we're really trying to feel things or see things or hear. And, so like after you get like used to it, like again, it kind of becomes second nature. But one thing that I learned is to like actually, I mean, like this might just be me, but to slow down a little bit and to not really be trying to, I guess, grasp on to like, okay, like what am I feeling right now? And like kind of getting in my head about it. But just really just being again like in that present moment and just allowing whatever comes through without like trying to grasp on to that feeling that you used to have and stuff. Because it's like I feel like you'll never have that, like I guess that intensity like you had in the very beginning, like as time goes further, like it just gets a lot more subtle. I thought that I lost things too, like before, because I was just like I was so used to getting things, like I would feel a lot more, or clairvoyance, like seeing a lot more. And then all of a sudden I was doing this reading and it's like I didn't get any of that and I wasn't feeling things. And I was just like, oh no. I remember that was like one of the readings that it was a practice reading, thank goodness, but it's like it really backfired on me. I was like, what is going on here? So when I realized that feeling and that clairvoyance transfer to claircognizance, again, that like intuitive knowing. So it's like it really had me like leading on that trust of spirit to really just say like what was coming to my mind. And that was probably like the hardest thing, was like that trusting factor and like surrendering to what like what's just coming to mind. I was like, holy crap.
That happened to me too. When I first started, it was mostly my clairvoyance and then my clear feeling. Like those were the strongest, and those are still pretty strong. But now my strongest is the clear knowing. And it comes all down to trust. Like there's no reason I would know these things. They're just like, bam, they're there. And there's still like, I still do every single time I do readings. I'm like, I don't know if you're going to understand this at all, because there is nothing that tells me I'm right. I just trust it. I say it and people are like, oh my God, yes. And I'm like, okay. So it's just one of those things you just like, you dive into. Aww.
Rick says, timing is real. I've had connections with my 19-year-old daughter that passed last year. When I'm really sad, I don't necessarily receive messages from her, but when I'm better and not so sad, it comes through with a flying color. Synchronicity is undeniable, but I know it's her. Yes. I love that. I'm happy that she comes through for you like that.
Yeah. And like Isabelle said, sadness is one of those lower vibrations, and so is grief, but they're both very human experiences. So it's important that we allow ourselves to feel them. But I hear from people say a lot like, oh, my loved one passed and I don't receive any signs from them. And I know it's just the grief is so strong that it kind of creates a blockage. So we're not super receptive. And that's always when I go to the transfer of thought. I'm like, how often are you thinking of them? Because that's how often they're with you.
Amy says, I love that your kids are just being kids. Yes. If my son was up here, it would be, oh my God. He's 2. She's going to be 5 here soon. And they are wild. But yeah, that's why I was like, today I'm not going to be doing readings, because it's like distractions everywhere.
Yep. Yeah. So this has been great. Like I love it. I love Lydia in the background. I love her song. She gave us some entertainment. But
I don't know if you heard her eating her ice cream cone earlier. I was just like, Ashley and Isabelle plus ASMR. Woo.
I love that. She's like a gift with purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I love all these questions. Like, this is just so fun. So this is Isabel's last live for now, for a while, until, maybe we can put something together. But if you guys don't follow Isabel on Facebook already, go give her a follow. Like she said, this is going to be her last month as one of the master healers, but she's still going to be out there doing her thing. So make sure you go follow her, get her Facebook page or TikTok, all the things that she's doing, YouTube. That way you don't lose her.
Yes. I keep forgetting YouTube. It's like, that's like one of the things I take time where it's like I focus on like one social media platform like at a time. First it was Instagram, and then I was like, and I was drawn to TikTok, and I did a lot on TikTok for over a year. And then I went to Facebook, and now I'm leaning more into YouTube and figuring all that out. But I love YouTube because I can like kind of push those videos onto my actual Facebook page, so I don't feel like I'm neglecting everybody on Facebook. But yeah, it's fun. I love all this. And but yeah, so go ahead and like, give me a follow on Facebook. Again, I do like weekly energy forecasts or guidance videos with tarot. Again, I missed this week because of the holidays and all that, but I do weekly and I do monthly energy forecasts and things. And I'm going to be adding a lot more different content. One of the other things that I forgot to mention is that I'm working on new courses. I have a psychic development for everyday course for just learning about like, I guess, like the basics of like psychic development and things for your everyday life to like improve your life and empower yourself. And then I'm working on a manifestation course. And then this intuitive thought came to me today. I was like, well, I have a podcast. Like I could teach people about podcasting too. So another thing, it's in the mist. I'm still, writing out that outline. But yeah, so if you're interested in any of that, go ahead and give me a follow so you can keep up to date with all the new things that I'm doing. I'm like a machine, like when it comes to ideas and stuff. I'm constantly thinking of something to do. So yeah.
I love it. I think you and I are very similar in that sense. Like I'm always like, okay, what else can I do? Or what sort of special can I add? Like I get bored with the same thing constantly. So I'm always changing things up.
Yes, I love the change. I love it. My YouTube name is actually it's not East Coast Shaman. I should probably change it to that just so everything's the same, but it's actually called the Spiritual Mamas Podcast. Because that's where I put all my podcast videos. So I just kept that with my podcast. And but yeah.
Yeah. And so if you click her snip feed link that I have, it's also up in the description. That'll pull up all of her social media links and everything.
Yep, my TikTok, my YouTube, all the other platforms that I like stream my podcast on, like Apple and Amazon too. Yeah. But yeah.
I'm
alrighty.
I'm so sad, Isabelle, to like see you leave the Master Healers, but I'm so excited for you at the same time. And I'm like, I'm just going to be like watching, like, what is she doing? What is she doing? What is she doing? Oh no, did you?
Yeah.
Wait, I think are you frozen?
Just peeking. Creeping on my social media, I see.
I love it. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think there's a little bit of
my
like
internet
glitch or a delay. You're kind of freezing in and out.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just gonna say. Like you cut in and out, so I think that there's a delay. But and the Master Healers, Amy, that's just the group where it was like me and a bunch of like other women and stuff that have like different modalities. We all kind of like, came together and provided different services for everybody. Like some of us do Reiki, like, mediumship, psychic readings, tarot. There's so much shadow work, a lot of stuff. And I forget what Kat does, like past life regressions and things, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, all of us have a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we've got master healers in there that that do all sorts of things. And so most of the master healers have mentored or worked with me in some way. And when I first started my own business, I realized like there was nobody there to help me. So I wanted to do different for other people. And so I started the Master Healer program, which, by the way, I'm going to have a couple openings. So if anyone has any sort of spiritual business that they want to kind of launch, let me know. But yeah, if you guys go to ashleyspiritualmedium.com, there's a link that says Master Healer. So you can find all of the information on everyone. But Yep. So, okay. Well, this has been fun. I love having you live, and Lydia too.
Yes. Do you want to say bye-bye to everybody?
No.
No. You guys got to stay on now. Lydia said no. Oh my God. Hold on for a second, babe. All right.
All right.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Okay.
It was nice
All right.
to
You guys
chat.
have a good night.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.